Alright, hey everybody, welcome to chiustream. Hope you guys are doing awesome. And today I'm broadcasting from Saint Julien, just outside of Montreal, Canada, at the Imaginism House. Why am I here in Montreal? It's because, well, we have the Montreal, or the in-house workshop, just outside of Montreal, but also this weekend is a special one. It's Schoolism Live in Montreal. So Dice Satsumi's coming down here, Robert Kondo, Nathan Fowkes, and they're each putting on some awesome, crazy good workshops. Environment design, designing with light and color scripting with Dice, and then world creations with Robert Kondo. And they all have my much unneeded stamp of approval on their workshops. Unneeded because everybody knows that these guys are doing really, really amazing stuff. So for those of you out there that are new to the stream, all you have to do is go to bit.do/chiustream, CHIU stream, and you can go to the very first post on there. It'll lead you to a Facebook fan page, and you can write your questions there if you have any questions, okay? The other thing that we're doing today is that, I try to give something positive back in every stream, and the thing that I want to give away today is going to be a free schoolism class, self-taught only, self-taught version, but it's going to be a free schoolism class, and you could pick between a whole bunch of different classes, including Nathan Fowkes' environment design class and my painting creatures class. They're both available for the first time for our schoolism fall sale. That's what I want to mention. So all you have to do is like and share the post. Okay, if you go to bit.do/chiustream and you go to the very first post on there, it'll prompt you to like and share it. If you can like and share it, at the end of this stream, in less than an hour, I'm going to pick a winner. Alright? So definitely worth the effort, and share, hopefully save a little cash and learn some stuff, and hopefully you can share this information with others to share as well, and spread the positive vibes. Alright. What else is going on here? Let's go to the questions. Why don't we, or actually, before we go to the questions, let's do what we always do, where I can give a little shout out to everybody that made it onto the stream. Good for you guys. Let me know where you're from, and I'll give you guys a shout out. Okay, so I can already see a bunch of regulars. I see Shren on here. I can see Shren from Singapore on here. Mika Madden from Italy. Wykit from Malaysia. Poland's here. New Zealand. Portugal, Malaysia, California, Panama City, Germany, Siberia, Holland, New York City. Holy smokes. It's awesome. Alright. Bulgaria, Belgium, it just keeps going. Just keeps going. Let me know if you're having any difficulty with the stream. Wow, it just keeps going. Brazil, Bulgaria, Australia. Yeah, let me James from Spain. What's up, James? All right, so let me see if if you're having any trouble with the stream, let me know. Today we're doing this from Montreal, and it's a little bit more crazy. I don't know if the internet here is going to be good or not. Anyways, so let's go to some of the questions. Okay, like I said, you could go to bit.do/chiustream to get to the questions page. There you can ask me a question live, and I'll be happy to answer it live. And of course, my little disclaimer for all of this stuff, and for you in general, for us in general. Oh, okay. Let me try to figure out this. Let me try to figure out this thing here. Let me try to stop this stream. I'm going to start it right back up. Okay? Just give me 1 second. Okay. Let's see if this works a little better. And it would be great to let me know in the chat if this starts to work a little better. Messed around with the settings a little bit. Okay, we're back. Alright, so let's go to some of the questions that we have here. First one's from Joan. Thanks for the weekly broadcast. You're very welcome, and thank you for tuning in. I know you had problems in the beginning with your wrist, and I'm starting to feel pain as well due to long working hours. Any recommendations of exercises or power balls? I've tried so many different things, and the thing that helped me the most is a very simple thing that you can do by yourself. It's called, it's a type of massage called gua sha. And, disclaimer is that I'm not an acupuncturist. I'm not a doctor. This is just what helped me, so hopefully it'll help you. But, of course it's better to, I don't know. It's better to ask your doctor or something like that. But, hey, gua sha, what I'm talking about here, it doesn't really, there's nothing bad that can come from it. Okay, so what you do is very simple. You can just grab like a spoon or a butter knife, and you use the dull part of the butter knife, of course, and take a little Vaseline or mint oil or baby oil, some sort of lubricant, and put it on the part that hurts, your wrist or whatever it might be, and you just scrape your arm, going from the top part of your wrist to the bottom part. Whatever is affecting you, you're scraping kind of like away from your body, away from the center. And this really helps because it helps blood flow. If you can imagine all these little blood vessels in your body that are if you can kind of imagine all these blood vessels in your body that are kind of getting clogged a bit with the blood not circulating as well, what I think it does, what I'm pretty sure it does, is it pretty much, as you're scraping your arm, of course it's lubricated so it's not going to ruin the skin, it starts to kind of squish the blood through all those vessels, right, and gets the blood going. And what's going to happen if you have problems with your arm, what happened with me was that it got really red. And some parts might even start to look like they're bruising. But don't worry, because that's what you wanted to have happen when you have a really messed up arm, and it'll go away in like a day or two, or at the very most 3, I guess. But yeah, after doing all the stretching, all these different things, I found that that helped me the most. And you can look it up, guasa. I think it's called spelled Gua and then SHA, 2 words. Okay, hopefully it'll help you. If it does, hey, spread the word, because it's free medical attention. You know what I mean? Everybody has a spoon in their house, or everybody has a butter knife at their house. It's very easy to do. All right, so next person on here. And the other thing that really helped me, just before I get off this topic, is I did, and I still do, what's called cups acupuncture. I guess that's what it's called. It's where they use like a cup and they suck the skin into the cup kind of thing. And that really helps circulation as well, believe it or not. It might leave little circular bruises on you for a few days, but hey, it's all about your health. You know, it's all about the long run. What's going to take us from now till, 30 years from now, 40 years from now, still working, doing awesome art. It's just too many problems with people's wrists nowadays. It's amazing, and it's scary. So hopefully that'll help you, Joan. And let's go to the next question. Okay, so the next one is Roberto. Any advice for someone who will go from working alone to working in a team? What about the relationship with an art director? So if you're working in a team, they kind of say, they as in a bunch of different various authors about, or experts about leadership and things like that, they say that in order to become a great leader, you have to become a great follower. That's the first step. To be able to assist somebody super well, hopefully like practically read their minds, grab things for them that they weren't even thinking that they would need, and then they need them later on, and you're like, bam, there it is. That kind of following. Okay? Which looks like that's what you're kind of going into, right? So the main thing here is that when I was working alone, or when I am working alone, I'm my own boss pretty much, and I'm doing whatever I think is best. When you're working with a team and there's an art director, your goal now, your primary goal, is to take the art director's vision and show it to her or him in a visual way, right, as a painting or a sketch or whatever. And then if you can enhance the idea in any way, but not change the feeling of it or change the idea, then do it, and that makes it even more valuable. It makes your contribution even more valuable, because now you're contributing your ideas, not just being able to bring a person's idea to life, but to contribute ideas as well. And I found that has made, when you can do that well, and you do that with a good director, art director, all of a sudden you're indispensable to them. You're their first person that they go to bring onto the team. Of course, if you feel like you're going a little bit too far away from the idea or the feeling that they want, then give them both. Give them the options, and people definitely dig that. Okay, so let's go to the next question here. And like I said, if you take schoolism classes, or if you've taken schoolism classes, today's your lucky day, because if you share and like the post that I just posted on the chiustream fan page, you can go there by going to bit.do/chiustream. Go to the very first page on there, like and share it. You have a chance to win a schoolism class, self-taught version, and any one of those classes that you want. Okay, so definitely share and spread the good vibes. Let's go to Mark Jackson. What are the not so glamorous parts of being a concept artist, character designer? That's a really good question. When you're on a bad project, it's not fun. Like when you come up with an idea and the person changes your idea into something that you don't think is a good idea at all, then it kind of stinks, because then you have to go with that idea and try to make it happen. However, that is part of the challenge. Sometimes you're dealing with designs that were really poorly designed in the beginning, and you have to take that and you have to design something really awesome out of it. Probably the example that I would think of, even though some people might disagree, is like sometimes old school superhero outfits kind of look bad. They would look really bad in live action movies. I don't know if you guys agree about that, but oh no. So people are having trouble finding the stream or the Facebook page, right? Let's see here. Yeah, you have to go to the very first post on the chiustream fan page, okay? You'll see this image that I'm painting, the drawing version of it. Okay, bit.do/chiustream. It should work. Okay, and you can post your questions there. So another thing that is not so glamorous, even though, more or less, I think it's one of the best jobs in the world, honestly, because it's like you get to be a part of, if you like movies, you get to be a part of the whole movie thing. Or video games, you can actually be a part of the whole gaming thing. And you're creating the stars a lot of times, right? You're the character designer. You're creating the stars of the film or the game. How cool is that? Okay, so other less glamorous parts is when they don't know what the heck they're doing. If they don't know what they want. These kind of things, and they're the ones in charge. That becomes really problematic, because it's like, it's great, you have a job, you're painting, but after a while you just want to actually make something happen. You want progress. So anyways, yeah, it's amazing how awesome the artists that work on those superhero movies will redesign the characters so that it still feels like, whoever it might be, Captain America or something like that, but it actually looks pretty cool. Yeah, so great question, Mark. Let's go to another question here. So I sent my info to attend the in-house workshop. Is there each month or 2 or 3 per year? I'm afraid of not having the chance to participate. So that comes from Lady Happy Burger. Right on. I like your name. in-house workshop, the Imaginism in-house workshop just outside of Montreal, where I am right now. The students are actually downstairs. There's only 4 of them. And each time there's only 4 artists that are invited to participate. Of course, you have to submit your portfolio and Skype interview and stuff like that. But yeah, there's only 4 people that are accepted at a time, and you're living here. One of the big things that slows people down in their whole learning process when it comes to art is all that other stuff in their lives. Their parents going, "Oh, do you mind going out and getting me something from the store?" and things like that. And, who knows what else. All sorts of things can happen, friends and all that stuff. So the whole entire idea behind the house is that we take you out of that environment, put you into this very peaceful environment where it's in a big old house, over 6,000 square feet. There's a lake in the back. It's beautiful, perfect and serene. The perfect place to get super intense about art. All right. So to answer your question, yes, it happens continuously throughout the year. Not every month, but up to 10 times a year. So your chances are still good. You gotta, if you want to, participate, if you want to try out, my advice is it doesn't matter where your portfolio's at this point. Just try out, because sometimes you might want to do it a couple times before you actually get in. And for the most part, we do try to, if you're really gung-ho and you seem like a decent person, like not like a serial killer, then we will try our best. We will try our very, very best to fit you in somehow, somewhere. Okay, so hopefully the stream's working well. Something I wanted to a thought I wanted to present to you guys. Just the whole entire idea of, a lot of people, they think, I'm not ready for this yet. I'm not good enough yet. Things like that to try. And I don't believe that. I believe like now is really the best time. Hey, my buddy Peter, what's going on, Peter? Good to see you. But anyways, it's more important just to start trying, whether that be going for a job, getting a Twitter account, Instagram account, making a website, starting to post on forums, all that stuff. People are too hesitant for the most part, I feel. My suggestion is to just do it now. No matter how old you are right now, imagine the number of your days, or imagine the number of days of your life was dependent on how you use them. The more productive you are, the longer you will live. Then how would you spend today? If you had to be productive all the time, how would you spend today? I think that's a really good thought to kind of put in your head to kind of keep you moving. And productive doesn't mean just art. It means whatever is important in your life. It could be family members, to be more productive, kind of strengthening relationships between family members, friends, spouses, whatever it might be, kids. To think about your life as something that you need to be productive one way or another every day, because your life depends on it. It might sound kind of scary, but it's actually a pretty good motivation to keep you going in a positive way. Let's go to Vitali. I'm trying to do design motivational streams here in Russia, just like you. We have no such things, only technical ones. What important stuff have you learned during your motivational activity? What to avoid, maybe? You know, the mindset, I feel like that really does play more than 50% of your overall kind of outcome of your career. And that's why I'm such an advocate of it. Now, something that I try to express to people, and you guys as well, is the fact that I don't know everything. I'm like the first one to admit that. I don't know everything for sure. But what I do know and what I have experienced is, being in the movie industry for almost 10 years now. Having my studio for almost 10 years now, and it's doing better and better every year. So there's things that I've learned throughout my time, doing art that worked for me, but that doesn't mean that'll work for everybody. And what's most important for your audience to understand is that they have to use their common sense. They have to think about what I'm telling them, what you're telling them, and you have to express this to them, that if what you're telling them doesn't make sense to them, that's totally fine. There are many other answers besides the answers that I'm giving you. But this is what's worked for me, and if it works for you, or if it makes sense to you, then you have to do it. You have to, for yourself. Because knowledge is only potential power. It becomes true power when you apply the knowledge. The other thing is that we have so many bad habits in our lives. We kind of pick them up. They stick to us as we roll along the hill of life. We have to get rid of these bad habits, and a lot of times we go about it the wrong way, where we're trying to use our willpower to stop doing this, to stop doing that. And what we need to know is that willpower over bad habits depletes over time. It gets weaker and weaker. I remember, trying to pick up a new habit, or I used to, trying to think of something. Like, I used to sleep in, and then I would try to, get up early, even though I didn't want to get up early. It became more like a thing of trying to willpower myself to get up early every time. It depletes over time, and as time goes on, sleep in more and more, until you change your frame of mind. That lasts forever. Until I change my frame of mind of, like, I'm not a person that sleeps in. I'm a person that gets up early. I don't know if that really makes as much sense to you guys. But what I'm trying to say is that instead of trying to resist something, instead of trying to resist doing bad things or things that are not going to help you in your life, in your career, or in your life in general, instead of trying to resist them, because resisting you'll get weaker and weaker over time. change your frame of mind. Change your frame of mind so no longer are you resisting because you don't like it. All right? Once you feel you are a different person, then bad habits go away a lot easier. And sometimes it's really good to, everybody just right now, whoever's listening, picture yourself as a role model. You're a role model. People look up to you. People that you care about look up to you. How are you going to be? Right? How are you going to be when nobody's looking? If you're a true role model. Okay, so let's go to the next thing here. Do you use a lot of reference for your work? I've noticed that it's really difficult for me to draw from my imagination, but I am quick if I have reference. Do you have any advice to improve on this? Definitely, just, when you're using reference, try to get it to the point of understanding where you can do it without looking at it. Like when you copy an eye or you reference an eye, don't just reference the eye, but really strive to understand it fully so that you can do your own version, or you can paint the eye yourself without even looking at it. And you start to store these things up in your mental library. And that's what will help you the most, is just filling up your mental library of reference, of poses, of hands, feet, whatever it is. And you're doing it in a way where you are really striving to understand it. And then study some more. Look at some more for reference. Keep going. Okay. Pavel writes, when you learn to paint and draw and you sit down to make a particular picture you have in mind, and it's the picture you need, not just practice, do you still definitely know that it won't be nearly as good as you imagined due to skills? So how do you encourage yourself to go on to overcome fear of not getting the imagined result? Let me just repeat one section of this. So you said, but you still definitely know that it won't be nearly as good as you imagined it due to skills. Okay? But you still definitely know that it won't be nearly as good. Man, let me tell you something, Pavel. Because I think I believe in you more than you believe in yourself. Why? Because I know that if you're struggling, hey, you're on the same path as every other great artist out there. The thing that you have to that I would like to pass on to you is that people that believe that they have no options or that they have certain limitations will never reach their potential. So you have to know, you have to believe that your paintings will become as good as you imagined it, and it will become better than you imagined it, because as you're painting it, now you can see it more and more, and now you can make it better and better. Okay? If you do not believe that you have the options, if you believe that you have just limitations, then you'll never reach your full potential. But if you do believe that you have no limitations, that you have a lot of options, well, then your potential could be limitless. things that we have nowadays. Just the whole fact that I'm talking to all these people from pretty much like a cottagey kind of area here, and I'm somehow talking to you all from all these different countries. You know, that seems pretty unbelievable to me in many different ways. But yet, it's still possible. The options are still possible. The technology, people still ended up finding a way. As a little kid, I thought the future, when I really know I'm in the future, is when I have a little watch and I can call somebody with my watch and I could see their face on my phone and they could see me on their watch phone as well. From like Inspector Gadget, if you guys ever watched that show. And now we're totally doing that, right? With cell phones. And it's free. Who would have ever thought that that would be possible? So like, you know, learning to paint your imagined images just like how you imagined them, or even better. For sure that is possible. That sounds way more possible than being able to, you know, chat with my friends in like Singapore, real time, seeing their face, they can see mine. It sounds way more possible than something like that. Okay. Okay, a bunch of other questions here. Wow, a whole bunch. Okay. So Lady Happy Burger says it's not really a question, but I'll see Steven Silver in Rotterdam at the master lecture. Right on. Super excited for you. My buddy Steven Silver is an awesome guy, so um, definitely take the time to say hi and, you know, chat him up. All right, James, what's up, James from Spain? I hope you guys are doing great. Let me ask you, you guys have traveled the world jumping from con to con, and I imagine you have learned a few tricks in all this time. I'm attending CTN this year as an exhibitor. Right on, James, for the first time. And I was wondering if there are any recommendations you have for first-timers at conventions. Have something that you can give to people that's free. Have something that you can give to them, and if it's on your table, don't point at it and ask them, hey, would you like a free whatever? Can I give you a free whatever? Pick it up and hand it to each person. You'll get a much better success rate when you actually hand them something. If you actually open up a book and you go, would you like to take a look at my book, as opposed to just putting it there. And of course, talk to people. There's too many people that sit there and they talk to each other. If you really want to be a person with a lot of grit and a lot of determination and doing everything you can, talk to everybody that comes within 10 feet of your booth. Sometimes I talk to people and they aren't even close to my booth. I'll just say hi or whatever, and then they'll come over. And it's not about just getting that one person to come over, but that one person might bring, having that one person there might stop a few other people from walking past and going, oh, I wonder what's over here. There's a person already standing here. There might be something good. Treat everybody really well. Even if you think they're a student, treat them really well, because first of all, it's just not that cool when you treat certain people better than others. And I know we all do this, just naturally, I'm sure if Steven Spielberg went to your booth or something, you'd definitely chat him up a lot more than Joe Schmo. But try. Because the other thing is that you're still young, James. You're a young guy. You got plenty of years before you. And if you're talking with students and you're real nice to them, who knows? 10 years from now, that same student might come back to you and go, you know what? We met a long time ago and you really made a good impression on me, blah, blah, blah. Just like when I met you, James. I met James in Angoulême, and we were talking for a bit. I had no idea who James was. I don't know if you were a student at the time, but now he's this really awesome artist going to CTN, having a table there. You know what I mean? So you could be talking to somebody just like that later on. Try to have like a mailing list or something to connect them back to you even after the convention. Twitter or whatever, have those things on your table so people can stay in contact with you. Great question, and looking forward to seeing you there. So Eddie asks, I would like to know if we as students should be focusing our time in working on our own ideas, or should we be focusing our time in studying stuff every time? Is there a way to learn while you're doing the paintings that pop up in your mind? Best way to improve, to learn quickly and improve your skills, is to focus on studying stuff every time. However, how you study it can also help with your own ideas. So in other words, if you're painting something, you're taking a lot of time to study this person's painting. After you do it, maybe it's of a duck. So then you do one of a swan, a different type of bird. Same kind of composition, things like that. If you're not as good, you change very little about it. If you're better, then you can change a lot about it. And then you're starting to implement your own creativity into what you just learned from the studying. And the studying, yeah, sorry guys, I guess the internet is not super awesome today, but when you study, make sure that you study in a way where you're learning to understand, not just to copy, but to literally understand every aspect of it so that you can do it yourself without any reference or anything. Then you really adopted it. Okay, let's go to the next one. Monica asks, I have a question about the Imaginism workshop, specifically Berlin. Going to go to Berlin October 18th, 17th, 18th, something like that. 18th, 19th. There's a bunch of trips that I'm about to go on, so yeah. So Berlin. Will the teachers have time to look at portfolios and answer questions to anyone who wants to talk to them before or after class? We will try to make that time. At this point, I'm not sure. Okay. There's definitely Q&A time. So definitely take advantage. But like one-on-one to look at portfolios might be more difficult. Vitaly asks about the streaming thing again. I'm going to paraphrase. Okay, so weren't you scared to not to find a theme or to find something to talk about, and the stream would be all silent. The best way to learn is just to practice. The best way to get better is just to practice, and we learn about the art of painting and drawing. And there's also the art of conversation, right? The art of just communication. So that's what you're about to embark on, and I wish you the very, very best. Just keep going at it. You'll get better and better. And if you aren't super annoyed of your voice like I am, then try to listen to your old stuff again and try to listen to it from the viewer's point of view and see what annoys you. There's plenty of things that annoy me when I listen to my own streams, as I'm sure that's probably a pretty natural thing in general for people to be a little annoyed listening to their own voice, but you just got to keep going. I do this because I believe in doing positive things for the community. I believe in giving back for all the wonderful things that life has kind of given to me. It's got to be reciprocal. That's what I believe, and that's why I'm doing this. So, even though I hate my voice, not hate it, but don't think it's the best, just got to keep trying. Okay, so Lady Happy Burger is recommending my book, The Perfect Bait. Awesome. Thank you so much. It's all about what I found to be the most helpful in trying to become an artist in the industry. And Vitaly says, I'm trying to do design motivational streams here. Okay, I just replied to that earlier. Yi Chang, what do you do when you are not drawing? Do you have any non-art related hobbies? I like to read a lot. I like to exercise, even though right now I've been just kind of resting, trying to recuperate because my knees are been giving me problems. My back's been giving me problems. But once that's all done, then back to exercise. I like to travel. Yeah, I just like to learn, and I feel like that's a trait that people that want to keep moving up in the world need to adopt, especially nowadays, because nowadays things are just changing so much faster than how fast things were changing 25 years ago. Okay, let's see if there's any other questions. If there isn't any, what I want to express here as well, I wrote this down. The creative thinker has more potential than the competitive thinker. As I was thinking about things to talk about today, important things that I want to talk about, I wanted to mention that creative thinkers have much more potential than competitive thinkers. People that are always trying to compete with the next person, they'll have much less potential than the person that's always trying to think creatively. Now imagine this. You're trying to be the fastest person going from point A to point B. So the competitive thinker is thinking, okay, when I run the track, when I'm competing with others, running from point A to point B, I'm going to try to go as fast as I can. I gotta try to beat this person, and at this turn I'm gonna take it extra hard, and this and that, better than the other person, and so on and so forth. Right? That's the competitive thinker. And the creative thinker would probably think, well, is there a better way to get from point A to point B? Maybe if I built a vehicle. Maybe if I start making another route. Those are game changers. That's the game-changing mentality. And even though I don't feel like I've really done huge game-changing things, I know that I have, at least small ones. For example, when I started doing freelance online, right, over the internet, living in Toronto, Canada, not a lot of people were doing that at the time. When I was trying to figure out how to paint in the computer, when everybody was just painting traditionally, and there was no tablet invented yet, just painting with the mouse. That's creative thinking, right? Instead of trying to paint better with acrylics than the next person. What else is there? Let's see here. Big shout out to my buddy Peter Chan. Got the chance to check out the stream right now. Wish I was in Montreal with you guys. Right on. Hope you come back soon, Peter, and I'll see you soon when we get back to Toronto. Okay. How long did it take you to crack into the art world, and when was your first job? How long did it take to crack into the art world? Well, I would say, that's a tough question, because if in the art world means like you have a job or a freelance job doing some art, then probably very early on. But when did I start to be successful enough to, not worry about my bills and, things like that? I would say a good 4 years. Or actually, when we started our studio, within the first year we were profitable, right? So we were making money in the first year. But I feel like that itself was a work in progress over 4 years of constantly thinking about it. Thinking about how am I going to do well in the industry and stuff like that. So it's a tough one to kind of answer there. I'm sorry. Shiab wrote, I'm a graduate from Animation Academy here, Cartoon Betwork Animation Academy here in Abu Dhabi. And I was wondering if you were willing to do a workshop in the Arab region, like Dubai or Abu Dhabi. You have a huge fan base here. Right on. I've been talking about going to Dubai for a good while. The main thing is just, it's all about timing. So we just got to get the timing right. As of this year, there's still like 7 trips left for me by the end of this year. Plus I'm working, on a bunch of things. So no more trips this year. But who knows? Perhaps in the future, because I would love to. I would really, really love to. It's a place I've never been and always want to go. Somebody's saying, Dubai is awesome, just not now. It's 40 degrees. Holy smokes. And I'm sure it gets even hotter than that as well. So, yeah, that's something that I'm not looking forward to as much, for sure. Going back to that question about cracking into the industry, how long did it take me? I want to go back to that because, you know what? It's not like one day you're in, one day you're, one day you're out, one day you're in kind of thing. It's more like a lot of small moves consistently. It's not about making the big moves. It's not going from zero to amazing in one move. It's about making a lot of small moves consistently. And that's what I've done. So the first time I got an art job, I was 17. I was designing toys, Disney toys, Star Wars toys, Batman, Spider-Man, that kind of stuff, Pixar toys. I was working in a toy company. Did it get me, my foot in the door? Probably not. Not really. What did it get me? Well, it got me some good experience just working in a company. Yeah, so it's not about the small moves, or it's not about the big moves. It's all about the small moves, and consistently. It has to be consistent. The other thing is that a lot of people, they say it's about being lucky as well. You have to be in the right time, the right place to be lucky to get that foot in the door, to get that job that you wanted at whatever studio. Yeah, that's definitely a huge part of it. But a good part about being lucky is more than just being observant. Or, sorry, it's just being more observant, I should say. A good part about being lucky is just being more observant. To see opportunities. To look for opportunities will help you see opportunities. So constantly look for opportunities all over the place. For example, YouTube came out. Right? YouTube came out a long time ago, and at that time, I saw opportunity. Started making YouTube videos and posting them up there. And that was how I got one of my, one of those micro little steps to getting into the industry, getting more people to know about what I do and what I paint. Live stream, that's another opportunity. CTN, like James was saying, that's another opportunity. The workshop this weekend in Montreal. We have Daisutsumi and Robert Kondo. Both have art directed on multiple Pixar films. Nathan Fawkes has worked on multiple films. Is there an opportunity there? I would say so. You just got to be more observant. Let's see if there's any other questions. Getting pretty close to the end of the stream here. Let's see here. Okay. It's looking pretty good so far. Nelson asks in the chat, do you know who will be coming to Brazil at the end of the year? It's not for sure, but it's pretty darn sure. Okay. When it's absolutely for sure, then we'll start selling tickets. But right now, the plan is Luis Gonzalez, Pixar's Luis Gonzalez, is going to be teaching story and how to convey story through visual, through a visual way, through paintings and things like that. And that deals with so many awesome things like composition, posing, and things like that. I haven't, witnessed the awesomeness of Luis Gonzalez's workshop for this particular one just yet, but I have been to his gesture drawing workshop, which he will also be doing in Florianopolis, Brazil. And that's going to be awesome. I can guarantee you that, because I've been through that a bunch of times. And I still love it. so I have no doubt that the story one is going to be a killer as well. The other person that we're bringing is Pixar's Daniel Arriaga, who's another phenom, hard worker, dedicated. He's going to be there as well, teaching character design for film, because that's what he does. He designs characters for Pixar. Now, the really cool thing about Lewis's gesture drawing class, or Lewis in general, Luis Gonzalez, is that he doesn't just work at Pixar. He teaches classes for the Pixar artists. And by my standards, that means that that person is an amazing teacher, one of the best in the world. Because, you know what? Pixar artists, there's so many of them that can present and teach and everything so darn well. So somebody that actually teaches at Pixar, you know that they're totally legit and crazy awesome. Nathan Fowkes, is he going to be returning this year to Florianopolis? Probably not. But it's nothing but A-listers, I'm telling you. It's going to be so awesome with all these workshops. And Lewis and Daniel, they're going to Berlin. They're going to London. London's almost sold out. Montreal is almost sold out. So if you're thinking about it, pull the trigger, because the events don't really repeat themselves. And even if you go to one in the future, it won't be the same as this one right now. I'm just reading through the chat. What's happening there? But yeah, really looking forward to these next bunch of trips coming up. It's going to be great to get out of the house, get out of the studio, and explore a little bit. Especially when it gets cold, it's going to be great to go to Brazil, because it's going to be a lot warmer. To go to CTN, because that's going to be a lot warmer. But something that I always say, I always encourage, is if you want to be an artist, you want to do your thing, one of the biggest things to look out for is when you start to become successful. When you just start to become successful, so many of us just kind of sit back and they're like, yes, now we're doing good. And the effort that got you there in the first place is no longer being exerted. You slow down and you stop doing as much. That's a huge shame. And that's a lot of people's downfall, that they stop learning. And when you stop learning, and your job that you work so hard to get, all of a sudden it's not even you're not even spending half the effort anymore. All of a sudden that job that you work so hard for, now 5 others are working towards getting your job and replacing you. And if that doesn't really get you, then the main thing that we have to remember is that the whole world keeps evolving at such a rapid rate, especially gaming, especially movies, especially art in general. We have to keep things moving quickly, learning quickly, advancing quickly to keep up. So no matter what your situation is, whether you can afford a super expensive college or university, whether you can afford a schoolism class, or whether you can only afford, maybe a book, make sure that you're constantly learning. Because if you're not, and I still am, or people like me are still continuously learning new things even after they start doing well, how are you going to compete? Now, that shouldn't be it's not meant to be a depressing thing, but more just like, I want to make sure that everybody, knows what they are supposed to do, what they need to do. If you, well, a lot of times if you didn't know and now you know and it makes sense to you, hopefully it'll change a few people's minds and they'll start to, get back on their drawing board or just start painting even when they don't need to paint, trying to learn, trying to study, trying to get better. Carlos asks, are you thinking of coming to Mexico someday? Heck yes! I've been talking to Humberto Ramos and Francisco Herrera on and off for like a year and a half or maybe even a couple years about coming to Mexico. So I'm sure that one's going to happen sometime. We just got to fit it in. All right. So at this time, why don't we pick a winner? Okay. The Facebook fan page. Sorry, chiustream Facebook fan page. Okay. I can pick a share or a person I shared. Just gonna open all the shares up. Okay, and I'm just gonna scroll randomly, and the winner is Evan. Evan Scannell. Alright, so Evan Scannell, you are going to get a message from me on Facebook. I hope I said your name right. Freelance or illustrator, designer, freelance. Look out for me to send you a message. Alright? So you're the winner of a free self-taught schoolism self-taught class. And enjoy. Alright, so thanks everybody for tuning in and showing up, and we'll see you guys should be next Thursday. I'll be back in Toronto then. Alright, so have a great day. Hope everybody does awesome, and we'll see you next week. And for those of you that are coming to the Montreal Schoolism Workshop, we'll see you guys real soon. Alright, and if you are thinking of coming, there is less than 10 tickets left for each of the workshops. So definitely get on it super quick, and we'll see you very, very soon. And for everybody that's coming Saturday night after the workshop, we're going to have a little get together on 6th floor, have some drinks, do some drawings, and talk and, spread the positive vibes. Alright, take care everybody. Have a good day, good night, whatever it is, wherever you are.